Hey traders, Akil Stokes here. It is good to be back. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. Today, I've got something very special in store. We're going to try something a little bit different today. It's going to be a longer podcast, but what I wanted to share with you was a recording from one of our accountability sessions. Now, our accountability sessions are something that we host each and every Friday on the Tier 1 trading platform, where we bring traders in, traders that we're working with, and we hold them accountable, right? And what that means is essentially that we allow them to share their story. Jason Greystone asked them a few questions about their journey, what they're doing, and it's essentially like a live trader assessment. And what's good about it from both parties is that from the trader sharing their story, it holds them accountable. It puts their goals out there to the public of what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and it makes them really stay on track with their goals of becoming a consistently profitable trader. It may not seem like it, but it's very hard to kind of put yourself out there and share your goals, because once you do, right, once people know what you're doing, there's a little bit more pressure to do it. And that's exactly what we want to do, because as trading, right, you don't really have a boss. You're your own boss. Yeah, we teach you the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, but whether you follow that is completely up to you or not, right? If you were to break a trading rule, nobody would know but yourself. There's no one standing over your shoulder. But what it also does from our listeners, and we have, we work with clients of all different types of levels. We have some very experienced traders out there that are managing money for others and have seen very, very great success in their trading. And we have newer traders as well, and it gives them a chance to kind of see the development of a trader and really outlines the path that they need to go on to become consistently profitable themselves. One of the great things about having a community of traders is that trading is a journey first and foremost, but it's often a very lonely journey, right? We operate in an industry where I would bet that 9 out of 10 of your friends have no idea what you do, right? And the one that does, right, he probably thinks it's gambling. So it's very hard to find like-minded individuals that you can talk to and share experiences with. And it's a very lonely journey, and it's very difficult to get through. When you have others that are taking that journey with you, right, they're walking next to you as you go through the dark caverns, as you go through the obstacles, and even as you reach the periods of glory, it just makes that journey so much easier and so much rewarding as well. So it's a great opportunity for both parties, the sharer and the people listening, to really get empowered, motivated. And we do it on Friday. That way it takes you into the weekend, where most of our traders are putting in that work on the charts, trying to get better for the week ahead. So I want to share that with you today. Today was a great session with a guy named Hassan. It's a trader that Jason Greystone. He's the one that runs our accountability sessions. He's been working with him personally, and it's a very good story to listen to. Now, I must warn you, it's a long episode. I'm a little long-winded at the front end already, but it's about an hour-long episode, so make sure you dedicate that time to listen to the entire thing. That's very important. You don't want to get halfway through then stop. So make sure you put aside an hour, and also let me know what you think. I haven't shared these publicly before. Typically, my goal was to make these podcasts short and sweet, 15 minutes, because I have shiny thing syndrome, just like Hassan, where I get very distracted. But if this is something that you like, do me a favor, leave me a comment. That's the only way I'm going to know. So shoot me a message, whether it's on Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Let me know if this is something that you want to hear more of, right? And I can start sharing these accountability sessions more and more with you. Just the length of it bothers me a little bit, but this podcast is for the people, by the people. So if this is something that you find valuable, and I know you will, but I mean, the time-wise, just let me know. So without further ado, let's load up today's accountability session, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Excellent. All right, so really excited about this session, because last week we had James Ingram in. James Ingram was in for the accountability session. And this week we've got Hassan Arif. Now, Hassan Arif is another trader who's part of a private client group that I ran. I opened that thing up in January. And Hassan is, just to give you a bit of a a backstory. I met Hassan a few years back, 2016 I think it was, and when I met Hassan, he was very, very dedicated. He was very, very driven and determined to become successful as a trader. And he had a very supportive wife. And I met the guy. I could see that he was very determined, but I very quickly realized that he was struggling with certain aspects. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm going to let him tell his story. But I know this session is going to be very, very valuable for many traders who are watching this, and I'm going to definitely recommend that other people in the platform watch this session because you'll really resonate with his story and how he struggled and now how he's got to where he is now. So I'm not going to ramble on too much. If you're brand new, this is the accountability session. We have this session, host it once a week. And it's a chance, an opportunity for our traders, one of our trading community to come in, talk us through their journey, their goals, their struggles, their what they're planning on doing next, and really sort of give that level of accountability out to the group so that we can keep them on track. And also by doing this, you're releasing information that's subconscious. So the chances are none of you guys have talked to anyone about trading, and you certainly haven't explained a trade to anyone, okay, in any detail. Give it a go. You'll be surprised what that does for you, because it's good one thing to know, but when you actually explain it to someone else, it forces objectivity. So because they'll ask you questions, right? So then if there's any gray areas or black spots in your mind, then this is really going to flush all of those out. Flush all of those out. So today we've got Hassan. Really looking forward to speaking to Hassan. So I'm just going to go over and share a mic. We did a sound check earlier, so hopefully this works straight away. Hassan, you should have an invitation now.
Hello.
There you go. Can everyone hear Hassan okay?
Is the sound all right?
Sounds perfect. Sounds good for me. Sounds good for me. All right. So Hassan, thanks for coming on. I know you was a little bit nervous, but there really isn't any need because we're. If you just imagine, we're all in a pub and we're all talking about trading, and we've got a great community of people here, and there's really no need to sort of worry or panic. But also, that's the whole point, right? It's good to feel a bit on edge because that's what accountability is for. By coming onto this and opening up to everyone else, it's really going to give you that next level accountability, which I think you will really, really benefit from. So
yeah, I'm looking
just before we get stuck in, those of you who know, James was one of the private clients as well, and James then became a full-time member of Tier 1. Hassan, I steered away from joining Tier 1 for the time because of the personality trait, because of the type of person he is, and I assessed his situation, assessed the things that he was doing wrong, assessed his mistakes, and then we sort of worked at a plan of ironing out those mistakes, steering him in the right direction, and then giving him the highest probability of success. And one of those things was to stay away from distractions. And although Hassan will be a member later on, right now he's not inside the platform, so it's sort of a one-time appearance from Hassan as he comes in and does this session. So, because we want results, right? We want results. We don't just want anyone to come in and sort of be around us and sort of waste time and waste their money and waste their efforts. We want people that are going to succeed. Our success is through our client's success. So yeah. So welcome, Hassan. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I know you've been trading for quite a while, but what I want you to do is just sort of tell us a bit about who you are, how old you are, where you're from, what your background was, what you did before trading, and sort of who Hassan is, so that any other traders that are similar to you can really resonate with who you are. So fire away.
Yeah, sure. Well, as you know, my name's Hassan. I'm 34 years old. I'm originally from South London, but I've moved to North London now after I got married 2 years ago. So I live up here now. No kids at the moment. So I'm, haven't got commitments. I can put all my attention to trading and building up my future in that sense. I have always had rubbish jobs in the past. My last job was a delivery driver. I was a courier.
Who was that for, Hassan?
That was for a company called My Hermes.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit like your Amazons and your Yodels and these sorts of companies. And that was just horrible. I really, really didn't enjoy it. And in the meantime, I was I was part of the 12-week transformation course, so I was learning at the same time. And last year, I actually gave it up. I said, I've had enough. Don't want to do it anymore. The journey was far too long. The hours were far too long. And I kind of made a bit of a decision, which my wife supported me with as well, was I left it and I said, I'm going to put 110% into trading.
Wow, so that's similar to well, it's really similar to me and Akil. I mean, Akil more so than me, but Akil went all in. Everyone knows the story about Akil when he had 3 jobs, gave them all up, and went all in. So his back was against the wall. He spoke about that in a recent podcast as well. So yeah, similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've got property as well, so I invest in property. I've got a few flats and whatnot, so I've got additional income coming in, as well as my wife works full time. She's got a really good job. So it wasn't in the sense of I had no money coming in whatsoever. I still had funds coming in from different directions. But it gave me the opportunity to really concentrate on trading. And to be honest, it was one of the best decisions I made. Obviously, I don't recommend it for everyone. Everyone's situation is different. But for me, it really helped.
Yeah, it's going to be different for everyone's situation, but some people just find that by throwing their back against the wall and giving them absolutely no option other than to succeed is the best way. Some people are more driven than others, and I think the same. I think the same. If your back's against the wall, you're really going to sort of go out and make it work. When I started my business, we'd just moved into a new house. We just had a new baby. It was Christmas time. We had some debts, and I just thought, you know what? When's the worst time to leave a secure job and start my own business? Right now. So that's what I did, and it worked for me as well. So so you've got some investment. Yeah. So you've got some investment properties which are being rented out, I take it. So you've got like interest-only mortgages and things like that rented out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're all on interest only, so I can match on the rental.
Excellent.
Which gives me a nice return each month.
Okay, so you don't have any kids. You're 34, still young, younger than me. So let's talk a bit about what attracted you into the Forex market in particular then. How did that come?
Well, that come about around 3 to 4 years ago, I'd say. Obviously, I've always been one for, what can I do to make more money? What's the next option for me? And one day I was actually sitting in my barber shop having my hair cut, and my barber, he kept checking his phone, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, why do you keep checking your phone? You're supposed to be cutting my hair. Like, I had quite a good relationship with him.
He wasn't eating a McFlurry, was he?
Oh, no. And then all of a sudden he went, yes, I've just made £10. I was like, £10 on what? And he goes, oh, this Forex thing. And I was like, what is it? Tell me. And I got really interested. I was like, you've just made £10 whilst cutting my hair. I was like, I want a piece of the action. What is it? So he showed me the app. He showed me the company he was with. And I was like, this is really interesting. So I went straight home, jumped on the computer, and unfortunately, like many people, first thing I'd done was opened an account and put money in it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know you could short the market. I didn't know anything.
No.
I thought it was like stocks and shares. You buy and you hold. and you sell, you buy low and you sell high like stocks and shares.
Yeah.
And the minimum amount they wanted was £1,000 to open an account. So I funded it, and I lost that within a week. I'm very surprised I even lasted a week, to be honest with you.
So am I.
That was quite good going. And then it stemmed from there. I thought, you know what? There's got to be a way to actually make money from this. Because there were a couple of winning trades, and I thought there has to be a system. There has to be a way of making this, even if it was a secondary income, some sort of income. So I just started researching, and where do you go? YouTube. As everyone else does, YouTube and everything, every little system that appeared, I was like, all right, let's try that. And then slowly, I just kept putting money in, losing it. It was like £500, £300.
Wow.
And it started getting less and less every time I funded the account, because I'm like, well, I might lose it again. And obviously, the less you put in, you've got no movement within the market, so you're just going to get stopped out anyway.
Yeah.
And that's where it all stems from. And I stumbled across the other company. I won't mention them.
Yeah.
And I saw Jason's videos, and I actually saw Akil's video first, one of his training videos on YouTube. And that's where I got involved in the whole 12-week transformation course. And it just stemmed from there, really. Just got more and more involved with you guys.
Okay, so when you stumbled across that and you got involved, you was obviously sure about you'd lost enough money and it was painful. I know you said you thought it was easy, and you started funding an account, which most people do. Having said that, according to the guy at McDonald's, it is easy, right? You just buy low, sell high, and
well, yeah.
No, but
really, is it?
you had no confidence in funding it. What's really interesting is the point you made about, as you kept losing money, you had less and less confidence in funding your account. Yeah. Now, this is something that I always focus on, because people don't really, they underestimate the, once you're successful at trading, they underestimate the growth from that point on. But that is, it basically have the reverse effect. So you was getting less and less confident funding your account because you was losing money. Let me tell you that when you do have the confidence and you've proven to yourself that you're profitable, you have the confidence to fund your account, and it grows exponentially. So you are trying to, I always say, imagine a fruit machine. Every time you put in $1, it throws out, $2. You're going to want to put as many dollars in the fruit machine as possible. And that's really how you treat your trading account after that. You want to put as much money into it as possible because you've got that confidence to do that. But you don't get that until you prove to yourself that you're successful. So most people just think, I'm never going to build an account because, but really what they're thinking is, I never want to put money into an account because I haven't got the confidence to trade it. So it is 100% true, as Gabriel just said. So I found that really interesting, because it has the reverse effect once you are successful. So you decided you do want to get involved even after you'd lost some money. You still thought it was for you. What was attractive still? Did you just knew that there was a decent amount of money to be earned out of the market, right? Or was it more about the freedom? Or
yeah, well, obviously where I was researching like that, you could, I mean, I don't know whether they were legit or whether they were fake people, but you could see the lifestyles they were living. You could see that they were working from anywhere around the world. And I mean, to be honest, in some sense it's true. You can literally just take your laptop anywhere once you know what you're doing, and you're consistently profitable. You can take your laptop, you can work from anywhere, really. So that whole lifestyle really attracted me, but at the same time I was really I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, and I knew that there was better stuff out there for me. Mm-hmm. So that sort of lifestyle really attracted me, and I thought, wow, to call myself a trader and to invest money and make hundreds of thousands of pounds, like, who wouldn't want to, boast about that in a sense? And that was the mindset I was in. until I slowly started realizing, you know what, there's actually a lot more work involved in this than I thought.
You're right. Okay.
I thought I could turn £100 into,
A million.
tens of thousands, yeah, within a couple of months, but it just
Yeah.
is not the case, and I know that now the hard way.
Excellent. So I noticed you just went to Amsterdam for your birthday, and I saw you posting pictures of managing trades. I know you've been managing some trades over there.
Yeah,
We're working together, obviously, but yeah. So you can actually trade from anywhere. That was one. It was a big eye opener for my wife. We, I've been trading for quite a while, but it was only really this year when we went to the Maldives that my wife really appreciated the detachment from any geographical location. We did literally, it really sort of opened her eyes, almost put her on a bit of a come down when we got home, because she was like, oh, let's just go, let's just go back. But yeah, it does open your eyes. It certainly opens your eyes when you're able to.
I think it was an eye-opener for me as well, to be honest. It was the first time I moved away from my desk, and I actually took a trade. It was only one trade I took, and thank God it was a winner as well. But it was an eye-opener for me to think, you know what? I've actually finally achieved what I thought all them years back. I've actually gone away with my laptop and pulled off a trade, and that was a bit of inspiration for me to say, you know what? You're on the right path.
Yeah.
You can actually do this.
All right. So we're going to rein it back a little bit now then to when you was starting trading and you had some problems, didn't you? You encountered some problems early on. Some were known to you and some weren't known to you, which I've obviously recently highlighted. Maybe you secretly knew. But what was you struggling with, early on in particular?
The two biggest, no, actually the three biggest ones for me was 1, consistency, 2, discipline, and 3, shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
They were the main ones that really affected my trading, and I didn't realize how important they were until we started our sessions and made me do backtesting all over again. That was when it really hit home. I was like, you know what? Even though I went through the course, let's be honest, I think I rushed it, and definitely rushed the backtesting.
Yeah. So was there anything, obviously you were struggling with consistency and discipline. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster, as we know. If there's no consistency, you're not going to have consistent results. It's as simple as that. If you don't have consistent trading, you don't have consistent results. Anyone that thinks that they can sort of just feel good about a trade and take it, or have an eye on a market because you think you know what's going to happen next, so you're going to place a trade on that in a different way this time, you're breaking consistency, which means you're breaking your results.
Yes.
And it's 100% true. If you don't believe that, I'd advise that you stop trading money. So one of the biggest things was shiny object for you. It was distractions. You was always after the next shiny object, right? Looking at different tools, indicators, different strategies, and maybe a part of you still believed that there was a better way or a better system. And one of the reasons that I wanted to work with you is because I think that was something that I could iron out quite easily, and we would get some results. Now, I remember when you was part of the company, and we was sort of, you'd be asking questions and you'd be attracted to the next system and the next system. At that point, you was trading full time, wasn't you? So you'd funded an account and you was trading, but you was not really earning money. You was sort of breaking even and slowly bleeding money over time. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. My equity curve was sort of flatlining, basically, and slowly, very slowly dribbling money. I was slowly losing it. So there was something I was doing within my trading that was okay, but there was stuff that needed to be ironed out to really push my trading to the next level. And they were the things that you helped me find and pick out that has just absolutely made a massive difference now.
Yeah, okay. So when I started working with Hassan, there was three glaring things. One was he had backtested, but he hadn't backtested every strategy. So I'm going to lay all the cards on the table now, Hassan, because I think it'll be valuable for everyone. One was he hadn't backtested every strategy he was trading, right? That was a big, big no-no. The second thing was that he was forcing trades or making mistakes in his backtesting on strategies that he had backtested. So when he went back, and I made him go back over all of the strategies on all the pairs, he found that he was making lots and lots of mistakes. So there was one, he was trading patterns that he didn't know were profitable or not. Two, he was trading patterns that weren't matching his backtesting because he forced trades or made mistakes. And then the third thing was his position sizing. He was way over his recommended position size. He was, over leveraging. He was losing more than he needed to on each losing trade. And those three things are a recipe for disaster. And I would say that the only thing that he had that was good was consistency at that point, because if he wasn't consistent, he would have lost money a lot quicker, if that makes sense, because he had to have had some kind of consistency to last for a year and a half, 2 years, flatlining, right? So I knew that if we just tweak those three little things and make him do the work by using accountability, the power of pressure, I knew that we could turn it around. So what we did is I went to Hassan. I said, listen, stop trading money. Remove the money from your account. Do not trade another penny. Second, do the back testing, right? Stay away from everyone who's talking about trading and do the back testing. And we gave him 3 months to do the back testing, or 4 months. He actually did it a week early, finished a week early. He was going through some horrible times. He hit some walls. He was messaging me going, I'm just sitting here laughing to myself because I think I'm going mad. But I was checking these backtesting results every other week. So we would have a meeting every other week and I'd spot check the results. Fine, right? Holding him accountable to doing it. He got it all done. Not only did he get all the backtesting done, he realized he'd been making mistakes. He realized there were 2 pairs that weren't profitable. He realized that there were 2 pairs that he removed because they were, on certain patterns, because they were sort of completing when he wasn't trading, like in the middle of the night, for instance. So by filtering all that out, it gave him this really clear, crystal clear vision of what his expected result should be like going forward. So what do you think that done for his mind? It put him in a really, really good, strong position, right? So it didn't really stop there. Now we're going on and we're sort of funding a tiny account so that he's got to go for 6 months, and I'm tracking the trades that he's placing. And the reason it's a small amount is so that we can concentrate on the process rather than the monetary value, so that he can treat it as a business. And so that's where we are. And I would say what's been my question to you, Hassan, would be, what has helped you most? What have you got from working? How have you transformed? Compared to where you were and where you are now, what have you realized has helped you the most?
Well, the main thing that actually changed it for me was by you holding me accountable. So by you watching me and saying, right, we need you to do the back testing again, but I'm going to spot check this. I was kind of cornered in a sense. I had no option but to do this properly.
Yeah, or not do it and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm not one to quit. Yeah, I set out to achieve this and I wanted to achieve it. So by you doing that for me was the moment I changed in my mind, in my mindset, and said, you know what, I'm going to do this properly and I'm going to do it once and for all, and I'm going to just get it done, because once it's done, it's done.
Exactly.
I never have to worry about it again. And as soon as I finished, the first thing I said to you was, I wish I'd done this 2 years ago.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, most people do the same thing. They waste years and years rather than just getting it done and it took you what, 3 months? Obviously, you're doing it full time. You was doing like a pair every day and a half, was it? You was testing. That was about right, wasn't it? About every day and a half, you'd do one.
Yeah, I've done 3 patterns over 10 pairs over 2 time frames. So I logged. It was just under 6,000 trades I logged.
Yeah.
I was at it literally around 12 hours a day. I was just constantly at it, going, and I just had to finish it. And giving me the deadline was, I wrote the deadline down as a goal, and I could see my goal every day on the calendar, and I was like, if I just do X, Y, Z today, and I planned it out every day what I had to do and how many hours, and I had it done a week before. And it's what got me through, really.
Yeah. How obviously it's a turning point, but how important would you say backtesting is?
So important. The things I noticed in my backtesting results was stuff that I wouldn't have even imagined. Like, I know everyone's results are different, but I now look at my backtesting results as my kind of Bible, as as my rule book. I know that I've even got alarms on my phone. I know from 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock, I don't enter a trade. Because on my results, during that period, every single trade I took in that time frame, 10 in the morning till 11, gave me horrible results, come out in a negative.
Yep.
Now, how would I have known that if I didn't do my backtesting?
You would have just carried on taking trades in that time, and you would have been giving profits back to the market, which explains your flatlining equity curve, right? You was giving profits back that you didn't need to give back because you hadn't filtered out those losing pairs and those losing strategies.
Yeah. Same with pound dollar and euro dollar. I don't take a Gartley on them whatsoever because they lost me so much money in my backtesting. So now I've got them 2 pairs on a separate screen, and I know that screen is the no Gartley screen.
Yep. There you go.
I just do bats and ciphers on them 2.
And how much more comfortable and relaxed does that make you feel? Like,
so comfortable. I don't have that urge now to have sort of shiny objects to join. I don't have that urge to because I've seen the results. I know that if I just stick to the process and I just keep taking these trades, I'm going to mimic my backtesting. Obviously not to a T, but pretty much close.
Yep. Okay,
it's just a big weight off my shoulders.
Exactly, and now you're treating it seriously. We're tracking all of your live trades for 6 months. So the plan. We'll talk about your plans in a minute. But what sort of trader are you, just in case anyone hasn't sort of caught on to that, just so people can resonate?
Strictly at the moment, I'm just doing patterns. So I'm doing Cypher, Bat, and Gartley across 8 currency pairs. So I got 8 pair portfolio.
Which was 10, right? You tested 10 pairs, now 10. It's 8. Yep.
Yeah, knocked it down to 8.
And 2 of those pairs you don't trade Gartleys on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also across the whole board, I don't take any trades between 10 and 11 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, so strictly patterns. So bats, Gartleys and ciphers, isn't it?
Yeah. And down the line, I'm hoping to get onto trend continuation trading.
Yeah.
But that's down the line. I just want to stick to this for now.
Yeah, and that's something to go into later. Once you've got the skill of consistency, discipline, and you're treating it as a business, you can apply it to anything, any strategy. It's just getting the tools, getting the habits correct first, and then you can apply it to much more.
Yeah.
So you're a pattern trader. What are your sort of short-term goals? Obviously, I know that we're looking to get a 8% increase in profit in your account in the next 6 months, right? So tell us a bit about how that's gone. Since you went live and funded the small account, let's talk about how well you've done.
Well, I funded the account last month on the 6th, so it's actually exactly 1 month today. I think today's the 6th. And I'm up 3.5%. on my account, and
Yep.
that's strictly just doing the patterns.
Yeah,
So,
and at 2.5 weeks he was up 2.13%.
yeah.
3 weeks he was up 2.95%, and at 4 weeks he's up 3.5%. So
Yeah.
that is exactly how his backtesting played out. And also talk a bit about what the patterns you noticed in regards to the most profitable pairs and everything.
Yeah, the pound yen was out of all my testing was the best pair. Same with euro yen, and then it obviously went down stage by stage. But the back pattern in particular was come out on tops. Then it was Cypher and Gartley. Now, looking at my actual live trading, it's pretty much mimicked it to a T.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, bats on top, Cypher, Gartley, and pound yen's come on top. Then it's euro yen, and one or two of the other pairs I haven't really took many trades on, so they're bottom of the list. But it's literally just mimicking it, and I can't believe how much it's actually mimicked my back testing. I didn't think it would be so similar, but it really is.
Yeah, and it isn't always exactly as you're back testing, but the whole point is it's by doing all that back testing, you're going to know the story you're in. You're going to know what's likely to happen next. So when it does, it doesn't come as a surprise. You're expecting it. So it makes you feel even more calm, more comfortable, and more professional in your approach towards your trading, because you're like, yep, this is normal, this is normal. And then when things do start going a bit funny, you're on it. You're like, this is a bit funny. I better check my back testing results and make sure that this is normal.
Yeah.
So you don't worry about stuff you don't need to worry about. Whereas if you don't do your back testing, you're all over the place. You don't know what's going right, what's going wrong. You don't even know if your next 10 trades are likely to be profitable. It's crazy. So your short-term goal, we've set a little goal of 8%. I think you're gonna hit that. Although we've got the summer, right? And we're not too worried. The main thing we're looking at is consistency. We're not like setting a percentage and that has to be done, otherwise you're a failure. We're just it's a benchmark figure plucked out of the air based on a conservative approach based on your historic testing and your results. So if you treat your trading as you treated your back testing, we should get around 8%, roughly around that level. And if we don't, the main thing I'm looking at is consistency in the trading. So that's the short-term goal. What is the long-term goal for you, Hassan, then?
Long-term goal, ideally, will be after this 6-month period and proving to myself I'm consistent for the 6 months, and hopefully I can have a drawdown and break out of it within the 6 months as well, because I'm actually looking forward to a drawdown. Would you believe it? I just want to experience it. Then I would like to get funded. If I can get funded, that would be amazing. And I'd like to obviously trade like that until I get to a level where I can break away and trade my own money. So the funding will only be for however long it needs to be for me then to be able to break away and have full independence in my own trading, and as well as on the side keep investing in my properties that I do on the side.
Yeah.
So that's my long-term goals.
Sure. And that's what we're working towards, right? Because over the 6 months, you're tracking your trades. We're tracking all the trades that you place. We're tracking your performance, and that will then play a part in your confidence to go and attract investors and attract people will be jumping at the chance, I'm sure. But that's the long-term plan. So that's really, really cool. That's a really, really good plan to have. What I'm just going to ask you a bit of a big question here. What advice would you give to new traders? So pretend they're in your position and they're in the barber's, right? And their barber was on their phone taking a trade, and they said, "I've just made £10," and the guy sitting in getting his hair cut was like, "Oh, that looks shiny. I want to get into Forex." What would be your advice to give them, that new trader sitting in the barber shop?
First things first, don't put money into trading when you don't know what you're doing. That's do not trade live money. That is a must. If I was in their position and I was, let's say I was part of the tier 1, I would absolutely make myself accountable for something. So I would go into the group chat and I'll say, guys, you know what? I'm going to make myself accountable. I want all of you to know this. I'm going to do X, Y, Z by whenever. So whether that be passing one of the modules or finishing your back testing, like one pattern, one pair, for example, by a certain time, make yourself accountable and tell people, because when you're in that situation, I think it really does help. Rather than, going about it at your own pace and kind of locking yourself away and other distractions happen. I think making it aware and people around you that you're going to achieve something and do something is so powerful, and that was really what changed it for me.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, is to if you want to learn the proper way, but also set yourself goals and make, if you are in a tier 1 group, let, people like yourself, Jason, Akil, the other group members, let them know and really make yourself accountable.
Make the most of the accountability of the group, right? So
Yeah.
we've all got people on the same mission here. Even me, even Akil, our mission is to be consistently profitable. Markets might change. We have to adapt. Our goal is to be consistently profitable traders. All of us, like everyone in this room. So that doesn't ever change. So when you're surrounded with people that all have the same goal and the same mission, then you need to make the most of that accountability, because if you're struggling with something, everyone's going to pull you along. Everyone will try and pull you along, help you out, maybe give you a slap on the back.
Because you'll end up making mistakes. So when there's other people helping you and you're talking to other people, it really does give you a massive boost, and it puts you back on track to where you need to be.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I agree 100% with that. So what about in terms of education? What advice would you give to sort of start from the basics? Or
Oh yeah, without a doubt, learn to read a price chart. Something as simple as that. Take it very slowly and learn the basics, even if it is as basic as what is a pip, what is a candlestick, what is a broker. Because when I went into trading, I didn't even realize there was things like a spread. I didn't realize you could short the market. I didn't understand about lot size. All these basic aspects of trading I didn't even know, and I just went into it and just started pressing buy. I don't even know how many lots I was trading at the time. So basics, when you start your course, take it serious, because them basics are really going to help you down the line when you get to the advanced stuff. And even I'm trading patterns, I'm still looking at trending markets. I'm still reading the market. It all boils back down to that.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that, because people don't learn the basics, and what happens is they get so far down the road and they get so far ahead, and they've done like the professional course and they know some advanced strategies, but by skipping that, they've almost shot themselves in the foot, because they're too embarrassed or scared to even go back and ask those simple questions now, because they're sort of too far gone. And then they're almost like, well, I need to trade it, I need to fund an account, but I don't really know I don't know how the money is made in Forex. I don't really understand the percentage in point. I don't understand orders, order types. I get so many people asking me what order types do I need to place? And I'm thinking, if you don't know what order types you need to place, you probably skipped a lot of the basics if you're about to place a trade. Does that make sense? So, you don't want to get down the road and get so far gone that you're so scared to ask questions about the basics, because that's going to hinder you. It's going to hold you back, and you'll end up just giving up because you'll just think, I can't ask now. It's too late. Which is the main reason I created the basics course, because it was missing, right? You can go out to other resource centers, Baby Pips. Baby Pips is a great resource center, but the problem with it is you can learn everything about everything. And people think that the more you know about the markets, the better you are as a trader. That's absolutely not true. If you know everything about everything, you're going to have conflicting opinions on how to approach the market, and then there's going to be a reason to short and a reason to long in every situation, and you just don't need to know everything about everything. If you wanted to learn,
Keep it basic.
just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Learn a few simple things, play around with them, add some filters, and that is it.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Well, great session, Hass. I before we head off, I just want to know if there's any questions that anyone's got for Hassan before we head out for the weekend, because I really think this is going to be a valuable session to a lot of people. Any questions? Fabio says, Hassan, what didn't work for you, or what did you find the hardest?
Is that in general, or during my back testing, or
just pick a point that sort of something you didn't really get on with, something you were struggling with. It might be back testing.
Well, I definitely struggled with the back testing. It got to a point where I absolutely was cracking up. I was looking at the screen. I was cracking up to myself, and my arms were killing me. And I actually found it really hard to finish it.
Yeah.
But I had so much determination that I just had to, because I knew I have to do this once and for all. So if you do start it, just understand it will be hard. But once you finish, it is the best feeling in the world, I'm telling you. Amazing.
I know. All right. Any other questions for Hassan? Why was backtesting hard?
It's it was very tedious.
Yeah.
Going through candle by candle. I done from 2009 up until present. So I didn't do just the last 4 years or anything. I actually went back as far as my data would allow me to. So as I got closer to 2017 and 18, I just wanted to throw the PC out the window. I was like, I can't keep going through candles anymore. And it's a very tedious process, and that's what I found hard. And obviously sitting in your chair, sitting at the PC, your body starts to seize up a little bit as well. So I had to go for constant walks around the block to loosen myself up.
Here's an honest. You got to be honest on this question, right? Yeah. If it wasn't for the accountability and the pressure of the accountability and working with us here, do you think that you would have had success that you've had now?
No.
100%.
Straight no.
Right.
I wouldn't have done it. Honestly, I wouldn't have had the willpower to do it. But because you was breathing down my neck, I had no choice.
There
I
you
mean
go.
that in the nicest possible way.
Yeah. Tough love.
Yeah.
All right. So Fabio says, what are you finding the most rewarding?
Oh, wow. Is the fact that I'm doing hardly nothing and I'm at 3.5% on my account.
Yeah.
That is, I used to think trading was all about, got to be in a trade. I've got to take this. I've got to do double tops, double bottoms. I've got to do wedges. I've got to do everything. No. I might take 2 trades a week. Rest of the time, I'll be honest with you, I'm reading a book, I'm walking the dog, I've even started playing PlayStation, which I've never done. And and when a trade comes up, I'm happy. I just fire it off and I let it do what it's doing, because I know my back testings, I've done it properly.
So just talking about struggles then, when Fabio said what was one of your struggles, I think that one of your biggest struggles was once you'd completed all your back testing and you didn't have anything to do, right? Because you wrote to me and you was like, I don't know if I should be doing more, because I'm not doing any back testing. I'm just trading as I would. And once my trades are on and my analysis is done, I've got nothing to do. Yeah.
Oh, we did. We spoke about that, and I actually messaged you saying, can you give me something to do, because I'm so bored. I was like, teach me something else. What can I backtest?
Yeah.
And we don't just take a break and you'll be fine. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, we don't want anything else just yet.
No.
Daryl, Mr. OG has said, as market conditions change, do you look back over recent months in backtesting? So I guess that's a question for what you found, if there was anything you tweaked based on prehistoric results, right?
Mm. Um, has market conditions changed within the backtesting?
I suppose that's trading going forward, but I guess you haven't really you haven't traded live for long enough, have you? Really? For
No,
that?
but there is. I think what has improved my trading is from the backtesting is the fact that when now I do enter, let's say, a pattern, depending on what the market's doing at the time, it gives me more of an inkling whether it's gonna, if the market's trending in a certain direction and I'm going against it, for example, whether I've got a slightly higher probability that it could be right. So in the back testing, I never paid much attention to market conditions, whereas now, because it's live and I'm going forward, I do pay attention to market conditions,
Yep.
which I think has actually improved my results slightly.
Yeah, sure.
And I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Daryl says, for example, would you each quarter look back the previous 2 quarters? So yeah, I suppose he's talking about going forward, how you're looking to sort of review your trading. You're going to do that quarterly or?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will do it quarterly, or sort of every 6 months. I'll definitely review the trades. I'll see what's working, what is underperforming. I won't necessarily get rid of it,
No.
or anything like that, but I'll just monitor it and I'll see.
Yeah.
Because I think it's also good to see if something kind of starts underperforming. And I take notes as well on my trades to see whether, what is happening with the trades at the time.
Yeah.
Like
My advice would be the first year trading, review quarterly, but don't change anything for a year.
Yeah.
That would be my advice based on the time frames that you trade and everything.
Yeah.
Omi says, how long did you remain in training before you started trading live? So I guess that's from you stopped trading, didn't you? Stop the bleeding.
Yeah. When I first started and I went with the 12-week transformation, I took the 3 months out to actually 3 to 4 months to do the calls, and then once I'd done the slight bit of back testing that I did do, I then actually went live after the 3 to 4 months, and then I traded for the year, and then obviously when I spoke to Jason, we just stopped it. We stopped the trading, and then I'd done the back testing for another 3 months, and then I went live again with a very, very small account.
Right.
But I do suggest actually taking longer than 3 months to go through the course. If it was me, I would actually take the whole year to do it.
Yeah.
Really go through it slowly, bit by bit. Don't rush it.
There you go. Sound advice. Sound advice. Jamie says, what was your best study habits when you were learning the courses? So did you have any sort of workbook or?
Mine was more kind of goal set. So I would plan in my diary, I would plan what I'm going to learn and how long it would take me to sort of learn. Not that you can put a time on it, but, I wanted to achieve a certain amount by a certain time. So I'd say if I'm learning the back pattern on the pound yen and I wanted to back test it, I'd give myself X amount of time. So I'm not kind of plodding along with it. I am moving forward at a nice pace, but also I'm not taking forever to do it because I wanted to get it done as well.
Sure. Yeah.
I think so. Mine was more goal set rather than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still accountability again, isn't it? Even if it's self-accountability, you're setting goals as to when you want to get through a certain module and get done. So that was your.
So I didn't want it to last forever. I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling, really. But I didn't rush. That was the one thing. I didn't rush it.
No.
Because I would have just gone back to square one again.
Sure. Rakesh says, hi, I'm new. Will there be live trading today? Rakesh, this is the accountability session. We host this every Friday. Also, we run the live rooms Tuesday to Thursday, and we have a Q&A, dedicated Q&A on Monday. But we look forward to working with you inside the platform. We look forward to seeing you in the live rooms on Tuesday. So that's really it. I've really enjoyed listening to Hassan. He's obviously a great guy. He's got a very supportive partner as well, which I think plays a massive part in his success so far. Would you agree, Hassan? Support?
Yeah, definitely. You know, if it wasn't for her, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would have done most of this, because she was the one that pushed me to start the training courses and that.
Yeah. When I met Hassan at the networking event 2 years ago, I was speaking at the event. I was one of the speakers, and after the event, Hassan came up to me with his wife and said, introduced himself, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it as a trader. I've promised my wife." And his wife looked at me and said, I'm really supportive of him. I know he can do it. He's very, very determined. And when you've got support like that, it's yours to lose. It really is yours to lose. When you've got support, that's the rarest thing. When you've got support like that, it's up to you to make it work. And so I really, really sort of bought into Hassan. I knew he could do it. And I just want to wish you, say congratulations, Hassan, to where you've come. You wasted 2 years, right? You don't, or you spent 2 years making, let's just call it prolonged lessons or learning curves. But
I was donating to my education.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all education. You should be thankful for all those times, because what you learned. And I'm just really, really chuffed for where you are. Really pleased for you. Is there any other questions for Hassan before we call it a day and head out? Anyone typing? Gabrielle's typing. Thanks for sharing. All right.
No worries.
So thanks for coming on, Hassan. Really, really
Thanks
good.
for having me.
I really enjoyed it. Anything else you want to add before we leave you?
No, just everyone just stick to the plan. Make sure you go through this course at Tier 1 and do it properly first time, because honestly, don't waste the time I did. Just do it properly once and for all, and just, you'll feel so good about yourself. And use the community as well. You guys got an amazing community here.
Yeah.
And I will be in soon when Jason lets me. I want to come in, but he won't let me.
We've got people begging to take the year membership, and I'm turning them away. But
I've been camping outside for God knows how long.
It's like the release of the iPhone. All right, Has. Well, have a great weekend, mate, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's just take Hassan off. I'm just gonna finish up by saying you obviously got from Hassan that accountability was a big thing and paid a lot of paid towards his success. And when Hassan was learning, he was organising meetups with traders as well. I know he went and met Elizabeth. He met a couple of other guys out for a coffee. I know I think he went to meet Mark and all the rest of them. And I encourage you guys to do that. In fact, something I might post into our Facebook page is to encourage you guys to go and organise a sort of regional meetup. Part of the reason for these accountability sessions is so you can relate and get closer to the community. So now there's a load of traders around London, similar age group, or not even similar age group, but geographically close. You guys can go and arrange a little regional meetup and go and discuss trading together and post it all over, share it with a group. It will really help strengthen the community. I encourage you to do that. Go and have a little trading coffee session where you talk about where you are, and you can all help each other out. So go and do that. Is anyone up to anything at the weekend that I need to hold you accountable for? Anyone doing any back testing, any part of the course, or ignore my dog barking in the background relentlessly? Excellent. Back testing, training, learning. All right, guys. All right, with that said, enjoy your weekend, guys. This recording will be up later on, and I want you all to have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the Q&A on Monday. Be there, be square, and have a good one.
So thank you guys for investing an hour in listening to this, that says a lot about you as a trader and how dedicated you are. Most people don't get through the first 6 minutes of something before going on to something next. So it really does show that you're serious about your trading, you're serious about becoming a better trader, and you're willing to take the steps necessary in order to do so. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning, do me a favor, leave me a comment. Let me know if you want more of these. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions for myself, Hassan, for Jason Greystone, feel free to leave those as comments or tweets or DMs or whatever as well. Lastly, if you are interested in taking part in our accountability session, either as a listener or someone that wants to share their story, this is a session that is available to our trial members. So that means that you don't have to be paying the premium monthly subscription to take part in this. You can sign up for a trial membership and take part as well, which I think is awesome because it gives you that taste of what our community has to offer. You can head over to www.tier1trading.com to sign up for that trial membership right now. It's 14 days on the platform where you get access to training courses, accountability sessions, daily videos, software, and a lot more. And I look forward to working with you. Until next time, plan your trade, trade your plan. Take care, traders.